if you don't know, is a scale. A scale is just a series of notes that go between whole steps and half steps. And if you don't know what I mean by whole steps and half steps, if you just visualize a keyboard and you think that in between white keys there are black keys, if we go from a white key to a black key, that is a half step. If you're going from a white key to a white key with a black key in between, that's a whole step. So scales are just made up of whole steps and half steps, and the various combinations of whole steps and half steps gives us major or minor keys. So that's how we find out what flats or what sharps are going to be in any key signature. If you're trying to figure out a scale, you're just going to go up the alphabet or down the alphabet, and depending on the whole step or half step that is needed, we add the flat or the sharp. So the only key signature, the only key or scale that does not have flats or sharps is the C major scale. I'm not going to have you play that particular scale because it uses some fingerings that we haven't gotten really into just yet, but you can always find a beginner book and look that up yourself. But in the next lecture, we're going to talk about the F scale, and I'm going to give you a couple scales to start adding to your practice routine. Scales are used in pieces all over the place, from etudes or studies, which are just exercise pieces, to solos. Everything is going to use scales. So it's very good to get used to scales, get used to the pattern of scales and how they feel in your fingers. Also, to get used to the key signatures, as all your pieces are going to have the flats or the sharps that are in these scales. So if you're looking at a piece of music and it has a B flat in it, or it has an F sharp in it, we call that key, whatever it happens to be. If it was an F sharp, then the piece is in the key of G, unless it was minor, but we'll say just for now that it's in major. So it's a major key, it's in the key of G, and that we would play the scale, the G scale, with an F sharp in it. So pieces, scales, we talk about them being in a key. So next lecture, we're going to learn how to play the F scale. So stay with me.